shareholder value was king in the 90s. Of course, it's taken a little bit of a knock recently. The whole idea, I mean, if you ask anybody, what's a business for? What's a business for? It's to make money. Of course it is. It's absolutely logical. A business is there to make money. Shareholder value is a logical extension of that. If we're making lots of money, if we're making good EBITDA margins, then we will have a high share price if we quote it. A really beautifully simple idea. The problem is it's not really worked that well for us over the last 5-6 years, has it? Certainly in the sort of the archbishops of the school of shareholder value down there in the city have not given us a great example of how businesses can drive true value. So much so that this shareholder value thing has taken such a knock. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying businesses shouldn't make money. I'm a very hard-nosed commercial kind of person. But I'm saying if this is emphasised too much, you get unintended consequences. The soul searching that's gone in the city, you can hear it in the terms of the phrases they're now using. This, by the way, is Barclays' new purpose statement. 2012, minted. It's in their Transform Cultural Regeneration Programme, costing way more than I would have charged them. And you can see there, actually, that purpose statement is not really in the shareholder value anymore, it's in the stakeholder value. We'll talk about the difference between what you say and what you do later. But you can see it's really, really started to hit home. Okay, next one, stakeholder value, pretty intuitive. This is about purpose, where my purpose is to serve the people that are associated with my business. Customers, my staff, of course, suppliers, shareholders as well. And we've got 3 examples here. Anyone spot one that's quite well known?
BBC.
Which one's there?
Bottom.
Yeah, BBC, the Reithian values there at the bottom. So these are sort of companies that are sort of putting forward an idea that their purpose in life is based on stakeholder value. And then we've got the higher ideal one. Quite popular since the dot-com boom, but again, as I say, it goes back centuries, the idea of a higher purpose for business. It's probably the one that provokes the most amount of cynicism, maybe the one where the biggest gap is. Anyone spot one that's been nailed for that kind of behaviour recently up there? Google at the top.
Olympics?
Yes, Olympics, one of my former clients there. So we've got the Olympics in the middle and Disney at the bottom. Again, where do you think agency's purpose, if you decide to have such a concept knocking around in your business, where would you put your purpose? Stakeholder. I think that's a popular one for agency, but I think agencies genuinely talk a lot about valuing the client. The client is king, but our people, we protect our people. So, you know, I don't think there's a right. This is a deeply philosophical question, clearly. It's a bit like someone sidling up to you at a dinner party and saying, "Why are you here?" Slightly disconcerting. You sort of edge away and say, "Can I come and go and sit somewhere else?" at that point. But it's an important question, but deeply philosophical. There's no right answer. My experience, my experience is it's generally towards the right. I don't know many successful creative businesses who talk about shareholder value too much. Of course, that's a byproduct of it. So,
what would the client represent in that mix? Are they potentially a shareholder or a stakeholder? Or?
Stakeholder.
Okay.
Yeah. Shareholders are the people who own the people who own the shares of the business. So stakeholders are kind of like, if you think of a sort of a wheel, the customers are a big stakeholder, the staff are a big stakeholder. Stakeholder kind of management has been a buzz term for the sort of last 15 years as well. Okay, so that's purpose. And they come in all sorts of different stripes. And they can be, even though they're quite high, sort of can be quite general concept, quite differentiating. I mean, do you fancy working in the business on your right there? Certainly going to kind of pick a certain kind of person, isn't it, that? This is a current client of mine. They can be quite paradoxical. And I'm sort of, they talk about the paradox inside Virgin. They talk about the paradox of Virgin. It's a force for good, and we've got a billionaire owner. They hold that paradox, and it works for them. And it is genuinely something that they believe they're doing something different, interesting, and good. So it's kind of an interesting one. Everyone happy with purpose? We could talk about a long time about purpose, but Purpose is something I do try and help people with. Try and work out what you're all about. What's the sort of the thing right in the root of why this business is here.